Recognizing the member for Coquitlam-Millardville.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. So while the member, and I do appreciate the response that we just heard, but again, we heard lots about little pieces and not a whole lot about vision. And I think this issue requires a vision that considers all the elements of addiction and the crisis we are currently experiencing. So I know that many are really curious about what happened to Alex, so I will share that here in the House. So after many phone calls and pleading with those that I knew who worked on the front lines, Alex was able to get into a detox, but it would be a 10-hour wait. Alex's mother agreed to keep him captive in the car and drive around until he could be safely handed off to these frontline workers. Later that week, I got a panicked phone call from Alex and his mother because it would be several weeks before he could get into a treatment facility that I had recommended. So where would Alex go in the meantime? An addiction doctor prescribed him Suboxone to manage the cravings, but he had no place to live and no support system that would help him stay focused in the interim. Again, I made phone calls. I called a few people that I knew in the addictions field and managed to get him in sooner than the predicted wait. Alex spent the next 10 weeks in treatment. He gained weight, reconnected with his family, and some of his friends from high school. He also came to believe that he had a future worth fighting for. Alex was still taking Suboxone that helped him feel confident that he could keep moving forward, and it kept the craving for illicit drugs and the possibility of dying from a fentanyl overdose at bay. When it was time for Alex to move on from treatment, he was hopeful that he could settle into one of the many recovery houses in the area, a place where he could focus on his healing, his life, and his recovery. Given how uncoordinated and fragmented government services are, I suppose I should not have been surprised to learn that the recovery houses in the area would not accept Alex because he was taking Suboxone, his physician-prescribed medication. So on the one hand, we have a commitment to substitution drugs as part of addiction treatment, but when people are ready to rebuild their lives, we have a mostly unregulated recovery program that excludes those on substitution treatments. Alex was devastated. His mother was devastated. I was devastated. He had no place to go, no job to speak of, and he was terrified of going back to drug use. His mom eventually agreed to provide him with a place to live, and I would love to tell you that the story has a happy ending. Alex had a relapse several months ago. It has been painful for all of us to witness, and while Alex takes responsibility for the choices he makes, we have to take responsibility for not being there for Alex when he needed us. Honourable Speaker, it's time for a meaningful response to this fentanyl crisis. It's time for a government that listens to British Columbians from all walks of life, not just those at the top. It's time that we work to create a coordinated, responsive addiction treatment system so that the Alexes in our communities can be all they can be: productive citizens, good employees, loving children, caring siblings, and good neighbours.